Okay, fine. What about a white balance? You need to check that? Okay, all right. Well, Monique, here we are. Welcome to Dallas, first of all.
Thank you. Thank
Your
you.
first time here?
Yes, yes.
I guess for most of the company it would be the first time
I
here.
believe so. I think some people have worked here before, but most of us, it's our first time, I think.
And where is your home?
I'm from Toronto, Canada.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
The Toronto Film Festival, I know it well.
Yes, yes. There's a few of us Canadians in this company. There's about 5 of us, I think. Actually, there's 4. We had 5, and then 1 girl left, so there's 4 Canadians.
When you got the part, was it that you just went to a mass audition, or what happened?
Actually, my history with Mamma Mia goes way back to March of 2000. I was in the original North American premiere company in Toronto. After they opened it in London, they wanted to do a sort of pre-Broadway tryout kind of thing to make sure the show was really working, iron out all the kinks. So that's what I was on that tour, so we started in Toronto and then we toured to the States for a year. We were in San Francisco, Los Angeles, Boston, and Chicago, and Minneapolis, and all these other places. And I actually understudied Donna, and then I was offered the role to take it over for tour 2. So I've been on the road for 3 years now almost.
Did you know ABBA's music before Mamma Mia?
Yes, I did. I was a fan. I'm not ashamed to say. Some people will say, I was a fan of ABBA, but I think they were great. I still do. It's just universally sort of just wonderful music. Joyful.
Even if you don't know the music, you recognize it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
There's a familiarity about that music.
Well, if you haven't heard Dancing Queen, I don't know where you've been living. Under a rock, on another planet. Honestly.
Is that your favorite number?
I don't know if it's my favorite. It's fun. That one's particularly fun because it is so recognizable that you can almost hear this little titter of, oh my God, Dancing Queen, or just that recognition factor becomes really fun. When you sing the first line of a song, and some audiences, they just laugh outright, and other audiences it's more subdued, but there's that ripple of recognition, which is really fun.
Well, in Mamma Mia, of course, you are the mama of the bride-to-be.
That's right.
And you're running a taverna on an island in Greece. And when you first came on stage, because of the Greek connection and because of your size and the way you look and everything, Monique, immediately flashed into my mind Melina McCurry.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Has anyone else told you that?
No.
Well, maybe they're not as old as I am, and they don't remember Melina McCurry. But
that is interesting.
did that ever enter your mind when you were preparing it?
No, actually. My references were, sort of broad and varied and from all sorts of different sources, but no, that never entered my mind.
Does it bother you that I make that comparison?
No, not at all.
Have you been to Greece ever?
I have. In fact, we did a lot of preparation, off the top. When basically the first week we just sort of created characters because the music is the primary sort of source material. I mean, the book of the show was sort of secondary in a way because it had to fit into the pre-existing songs. So we did a lot of character development. We went, we dug deep into our history. We made up histories basically. So I pulled out my old photos, and it was really fun because I had taken some pictures of local just villagers and the people that just sort of lived in these small towns in Greece, and that became just a really interesting reference point. And we have this sort of Greek chorus in the show. So it was fun, and just the sort of blueness of that ocean and the whitewashed stucco buildings, and I could really visualize it and really picture what it would be like to run this place, having been there.
Could you ever see yourself living there?
I loved it. I thought it was just gorgeous. I mean, what a dream. I mean, it's the thing about Donna, she runs this taverna, and it seems glamorous. And, oh, wow, she lives in Greece, but I think it's a lot of work, to run a taverna and raise a child. So she certainly hasn't had an easy go of it. But in a beautiful setting, so that makes it a bit easier.
At the end of the show, you all come out and you do about 3 numbers and just so full of life and energy and pageantry and everything. It's just the greatest ending, and the audience is up and clapping and dancing and
Yeah,
having
it
a
is
great
fun.
time. The costumes in this Mamma Mia are such fun. What's your reaction to the costumes you wear?
I think they're great, especially those disco outfits with the platform shoes. We don't want to give too much away to those who haven't seen the show yet, but those are pretty authentic. I mean, those are, you know, the flared pant legs and sort of Elvis collars and platform boots. And, oh, it's really fun. It's just sort of kitsch and over the top.
We have video of a part of the finale,
Right.
and the costumes there are just really extraordinary. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've seen any that would compare quite with how they fit into the music.
Right.
One of your numbers is money, money, money.
Mm-hmm.
And she's bemoaning the fact that she doesn't have enough money, money, money.
Right.
If you, Monique, had lots of money, what would you want?
Wow, what a question. I think I would still work, but I would love to be able to, you know, pick my projects, and I'd love to live by the ocean and sort of still continue to work. I don't know if my life would change that much, to be honest. I really don't think I would retire at my age because I love what I do. I really do. It's just so much fun. But I might take longer vacations. Take a 4-month hiatus, come back to the show for a couple of months, take another 4-month hiatus. But definitely living by the ocean, that's my dream, to have a beautiful home with an ocean view and swim every morning.
And that does take money, money, money.
In this day and age, absolutely.
Did you ever meet the ABBA writers?
Yes, I did. In fact, it was really fun in the beginning in Toronto. They were around a lot. I mean, they were there the first day of rehearsal and pretty much throughout the preview period until we opened in Toronto, and they threw us party after party after party. There was just such a wonderful sense of celebration to that company. It's happening now as well. I mean, there's a wonderful sense of celebration about Mamma Mia, but in particular, those early days in Toronto was really amazing. And they were very, interestingly enough, they were not a huge part of the process. They really sat back, and if they had a note about the pronunciation of a word or they didn't think something sounded right, they would confer with the musical director. But as far as the actors went, they were just sitting there kind of beaming with what we would bring to the table, and it was really wonderful. I mean, I remember singing Money, Money, Money with Benny and Bjorn sitting behind the table, you know, tapping their pencils, and it was like this surreal experience, thinking, because I remember that song from being a teenager, and here we were singing it, and there they were behind the table with their notepads just kind of grooving along to their own song. It's a very strange experience, and I wish they would come and visit tour too, but so far they haven't, but maybe soon.
Would you pronounce their names for me?
Yes, Benny Andersson and Bjorn Ulvaeus.
That's the one that throws me. Say it again.
Bjorn Ulvaeus.
Ulvaeus.
That may not be, you know, a perfectly Swedish pronunciation, but it is Ulvaeus, I believe, with the little umlaut.
Yes.
Ulvaeus. That's my best Swedish.
Close enough for me. Monique, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.
This is cut into your day, the day after opening, and I'm sure you could have rested a little longer.
I enjoyed it.
We appreciate your coming in. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Can you keep it right there for just another minute? Let me just get a over-the-shoulder shot from you.
Sure.
You know, I knew ABBA's music, but I didn't, you know, was not really into it.
Right.
Because, I was farther along. The Beatles, I was really into the Beatles.
Right.
Loved the Beatles.
Right.
But I just sat there last night and thoroughly start to answer, and I'll wave you off.
Sure,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's just for editing purposes. Okay. Mamma Mia is, you know, one thing I didn't ask you. We can do it now.
Okay.
Okay. So many times people hear Mamma Mia and they think they're coming to see an Italian show.
I know.
How do you handle that?
That happened to me the other day. Someone said, "Oh, you're in Mamma Mia. Oh, I love Italian opera. I can't wait to come to the show." So you just have to sort of take a deep breath and say, actually, it has nothing to do with Italian opera. It's a musical based on the songs of ABBA. And then they just look at you like dumbfounded. What? I say, you have to come and buy a ticket and check it out.
By Greek songwriters
I
set in
know.
Greece.
It is so confusing to people. It really and truly is.
Monique, have you ever been to Greece?
I have been to Greece, yes, when I was in my early 20s. I went with some girlfriends and we went to Turkey and Greece and had a wonderful time. Yeah, it was really incredible.
Okay, that's fine. Dancing Queen, tell me about doing that on stage.
Dancing Queen is a wonderful number. It's the three dynamos in the bedroom, sort of girl time, catching up and commiserating about our love lives and everything. And it's a really fun number to do. It's fun, the recognition factor, you know, in the audience when they recognize that song. That's really terrific. Yeah.
Did you ever meet the ABBA writers?
Yes, I did. Early on in Toronto, they came and they spent quite a bit of time with us. And actually, they were there for our auditions as well, which was completely nerve-wracking. There they were sitting behind the table, and you had to sing ABBA songs for these two gentlemen. That was intense.
Hang on just a second. Okay. The costumes are such fun to look at. How are they to wear?
They're great to wear. They really are a lot of fun. Spandex, of course, it has a nice stretch to it, so you can feel pretty comfortable moving and grooving in those. The platform boots are very comfortable, believe it or not. A lot of people say, "How do you walk in those?" But you know, your whole foot's elevated, so they're quite easy to work in. They're great.
Not quite like stilts.
Exactly, exactly. Not stilts, not stilettos. Much more balanced foot position.
Okay, that's fine. That's good. Very good, Monique. Very good.